Hello, dear friends. A change of plans is the modification of a previously established decision or course of action in order to adapt to new conditions or circumstances. Opinion piece. Change of plans. Patience is the key. Storms are coming. First contact changes. Last stop before heaven. Turbulent October ahead. Money is the ruler of darkness. Big changes in the background. It has lasted longer than expected. There are many who promote discord. The UN imposes an ideological agenda. Let's start. The time of first contact with humanity is approaching, and it is already happening for some. According to a message from Brilon, this contact will not be with governments as originally planned. The reason is that most leaders are still under dark influence. They will need to contact key players in this process, individuals with important missions for the planet. The intention is to involve more people gradually, allowing information to spread calmly. Those who have contact with them can share their accounts with others, which is a powerful form of exposure. Progress continues, and they are watching for the planet closely, aware of every action that is taken. Although they cannot intervene in most cases, their current focus is to maintain the balance between those who incite conflict and disaster. This, ta- this task is very important, as there are many who promote discord. Their vigilance is constant, because any negligence could lead to serious consequences. Their main concern is to protect us from possible repercussions. They are aware of the actions and agenda of the wicked, but their reign is nearing an end. Many have already been replaced by representatives of light, although it may not seem apparent. Many covert operations are underway to ensure the strength of the light. They must proceed with caution, balancing caution with urgency. It may be difficult for many to understand, but they must be very careful, as those who oppose them have no qualms about causing harm. They are actively working to prevent chaos and ensure a positive outcome. Patience is the key, as they work to define and organize matters in alignment with the light. Once they have full contact, they will be able to take important steps, cure diseases, and improve our quality of life. However, this process requires the cooperation of governments, and it will not be an instant fix, as many hope it will be. It is not they who hold back the technologies, but governments who follow the rules of large corporations. On our earth, money is the ruler of all darkness. As the earth continues to be uplifted, its reformation will serve as a filter, distinguishing between those who align with the light and those who do not. This process will unfold gently but effectively, and will lead to a beneficial outcome for all involved. This will also help to remove unwanted rulers who don't want to relinquish their hold on humankind. It is essential to remain grounded and settled in the midst of changes. Trust your own inner guidance and know that we are part of a great interconnected web of light that spans across dimensions. We are all here in these precious moments to assist humanity and the ascension of the earth. Trust in the divine process. Stay aligned with your purpose and allow your light to shine brightly for all to see. Storm. According to Dr. Michael Salla, the Illuminates manipulate humanity through advanced psychic abilities and destiny boats. According to Lorenzo C. of CGI, We are not in a conventional war. They are trying to focus us on a nuclear war, but we are actually in a spiritual war. We are electrical beings. According to C.G.I.'s Morgan, Poet Dog, there are no further boundaries until we pass the ring, that strange valley where demons dream they are free. The dark side is in trouble, and so it has to create ever bigger crises in order to create ever bigger distractions to try to get ahead of the awakening, over which it has no control. According to Young Pretender, complaining or protesting about the reset is a huge waste of time and energy. It will be carried out anyway and on the scheduled date, regardless of whether one is ready or not, and regardless of whether one agrees with it or not. It is something that is above politics and will not be put to a vote, no matter what happens. Nothing will be unforeseen or unexpected. All events have been carefully choreographed by the rebooters or the resetters who are hegemonic. According to Codex 7, you are going through the storm and will continue to do so. The great changes continue to occur in the background, although they have lasted much longer than expected. Everyone has to work behind the scenes, although they do not want to interfere directly. Nothing can stop the fulfillment of the divine plan set in motion by the original source of universal creation. Trust the plan, even though it may be difficult to do so at times. Codex 7 reveals that the real Donald Trump is the identity chosen by the Archangel Uriel, who is considered one of the seven main archangels. He is represented combined with red robes and carrying a flaming sword. Uriel means divine light of fire. He is the rallying angel of the sun, rallying prince of seraphim and cherubim, and in charge of enforcing divine commands. Mentioned in the book of Enoch as one of the four main archangels, Uriel is the patron of the arts, is associated with poetry and inspiration, and is depicted with the book or scroll. He is also linked to prosperity and finance. He is the cherub guarding the entrance to Eden with the flaming sword. Economy. Gold and cryptocurrencies soar. Copper prices soar amid China's new stimulus measures. Wall Street braces for turbulent October. IMF says carbon tax hurts poor. Debt destroys nations, and we have reached the limits of our strength, according to Matthew Piepenburg. Elon Musk believes China has surpassed in the US in manufacturing capacity. 23 countries have applied to join the BRICS alliance, and 24 more have expressed informal interest, bringing the total to 47 nations. Storms brewing, according to Rabobank's Benjamin Picton. Why is there a storm brewing? Because China just fired off stimulus 5 minutes after the Fed started its rate cut. USA. 4 million people without power and thousands of flights disrupted as Helen ravages the US East Coast. A port strike threatens to disrupt the supply chain. A fire in a lithium battery paralyzes work at the port terminals in Los Angeles and Long Beach. Chancellor says America is a headless horseman riding blindly into chaos. Zelensky meets Trump to present his plan. Zelensky agitated as Trump cites his good relationship with Putin and tells him about peace talks. It takes two to tango. You know, he said. Trump says he will negotiate a Ukraine-Russia deal that's good for both sides. After meeting with Zelensky, RFK Jr. turned down Trump's vice-president role because it would have ended his marriage. Middle East. Josep Borrell says that Gaza is the most dramatic situation since the Second World War. Thousands of people demonstrate in Madrid and Barcelona against the attack on Palestine and Lebanon. More than 30,000 people have arrived in Syria fleeing Lebanon. Mike Adams is worried about the imminent invasion of Lebanon, the escalation towards arms, the hurricane that has just hit Florida, the escalation of Russia, and much more. In his opinion, human civilization is a divine experiment and failed. Europe. The EU wants to limit the sale of Chinese technology in hydrogen energy. Germany will cut its bureaucracy and save 1 billion euros a year. Germany has one politician for every 1,000 inhabitants, and Spain one for every 100 citizens. Portugal is the best country for wine tourism. Ireland fines Meta 91 million euros for storing user passwords without being encrypted. French and Spanish inflation falls below 2%. The Armada in London 400 years later. Spanish galleon sails down the Thames. The galleon Andalusia remains docked in the heart of London. Sardinia rebels against wind power. Morocco is betting on artificial intelligence and blockchain technology to transform the country into a global digital hub as part of its Digital Morocco 2030 strategy. Spain. Juan Carlos I will publish his memoirs in France in 2025. Inflation moderates to 1.5% in September and falls to the lowest level in 3.5 years. Buying houses for investment reaches a profitability of 7%. Flight of companies in Catalonia in 2024. It loses 200 until June, and Madrid gains 225. The EU Justice supports that the European Parliament denied the seat to Puigdemont. Foreign Affairs still does not know where the two detainees in Venezuela are or what they are accused of. The US, Argentina, and Spain signed a declaration on the crisis in Venezuela. Americas. Storm John makes landfall for the second time in Mexico, in the state of Michoacán. 9 million American tourists arrive in Mexico in just 6 months. Mexico will receive $1.6 billion investment from a major U.S. brewery. Venezuela suspends its flights with Chile. The head of the Carabineros of Chile resigns to face criminal proceedings. Buenos Aires announces the largest investment in Argentina with the expansion of the terminal of the Coronel Rosales port. Milei will sign a decree to declare Aerolíneas Argentinas subject to privatization. Another Argentine province joins the charging of Bolivians for medical care. Milei accuses the UN of imposing an ideological agenda on its members, in quotes. An organization that had been conceived as a shield to protect the kingdom of men was transformed in a multi-tentacled leviathan that seeks to decide not only what its nation-state should do, but also how all citizens of the world should live. Close quotes. The Peruvian government declares a state of emergency due to crime. A state of emergency and paralyzed transport in Lima due to crime. Elon Musk will allow X to operate again in Brazil after paying another fine. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.